Welcome in. This is the Second Cut Podcast. This is the Friday of the Phoenix Open. This is Greg DuCharme. Hello, Gregors.
Good evening, Rick. What a day we had. Really fun day at the Phoenix Open. This has been a really fun golf tournament so far. I'm just miffed by the scoring differential out here. You see guys it seems like they're making birdie on every hole, and then all of a sudden they're one under on the day. It's just there are so many birdies and bogeys. It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, wide range of scores. That's hole by hole, 9 by 9. We saw Haotong Li went 32-42 today. Harry Hall went 32-43. And from day to day, we've seen a lot of changes. That's just the margins of this golf course, right? That's just the great shots are being rewarded. You can make eagles. You can go on runs. We've seen countless runs, but also you can get on the wrong side of it, find the water, get out of position, and it's bogeys, baby.
The rough this year is a lot more difficult than I remember it being in the past. It seems thicker. It's very lie dependent when you miss a fairway. The fairways are also extremely firm, which, you can hit some really long tee shots. You can get some huge bounces. I mean, watching Matt Fitzpatrick's ball after it lands on the fairway, it has been like it's landing on a runway. That's good and bad. If it's a degree offline, it gets into that rough pretty quickly, and you can have no shot, even if you have a wedge. It's not like a U.S. Open where you feel like you can't reach the green. It's just you depending on the hole location and your angle, you have no control over it when it lands. So you have to be in position out here. If you are, you can make a ton of birdies. If you're not, it will be a long day.
I think the way we should do this is as many names as possible, rapid fire. I'm just going to throw you a name and we'll talk about them.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with Scottie Scheffler. The number one player in the world was nasty, and not a good nasty. He was nasty yesterday, a 2/73. It was his worst round at TPC Scottsdale. It was one of the worst rounds that we've seen him play in like a year. He struggled in basically all facets, Greg. We saw him like flub 2 or 3 chips. It was just a complete and utter disaster. Like the Monstars came down and stripped him of all his skill.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although it didn't start out that way. At number 10, his first hole of the day, he hit it to inside of 3 feet and made an easy birdie. And you're thinking, here we go again. This is the unstoppable force. But his golf swing was not in order. He was saving a lot of shots. It was a real fight for him. And even though he made 5 birdies, a lot of them came on the par 5s, all 3 of the par 5s, and 17, the drivable par 4. He didn't make a different other than number 10. He didn't make a single birdie other than that in the first round. So he was really fighting his swing, making a lot of mistakes and getting very frustrated. But today, Rick, this looked like Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, this was more vintage Scottie,
Yeah.
and this was a 65, which is 6 under par at TPC Scottsdale. It's a par 71, and that moves him from firmly outside the cut line into firmly inside the cut line. He made up 62 spots on the leaderboard. He's currently in a tie for 27th, and this was bogey-free, Greg. Birdies on 5, 9, 10, 13, 15, 18, and probably should have had one at 17 as well. But this gets him back into the mix. We're talking about the wide range of scores that are possible. Your thoughts on Scottie Scheffler still having a chance to win this golf tournament?
It almost feels like he's going to. Maybe we can get it. Maybe we can get into it more in the betting section. But you just look at the way he played after the first 4 holes. All of a sudden, the swing starts to look like Scottie's swing, and the strategy starts to come alive. You have a lot of these hole locations on big greens that are in the corners, and all of a sudden Scottie's getting it flag high in the middle of the green. It's left of right hole locations. It's right of left hole locations. He's given himself birdie putt after birdie putt after birdie putt. It took him, 22 holes or so to find that golf swing. Now that he has, with the greens firming up and some guys getting on real heaters to work their way up toward the top of this leaderboard, he's 7 back right now, but this just kind of feels like his kind of golf tournament. as firm as the greens are. It feels like I don't know how to explain it. The field is in his grasp, and he's just going to do like some kind of crocodile roll, and all of a sudden, come Sunday, everybody's going to be terrified because Scottie Scheffler is right there.
Scottie the Crocodile Scheffler is what they've been calling him around these parts. One of the men that he's chasing, there's plenty of them, he's in 27th place, is Hideki Matsuyama, who went out yesterday afternoon and shot a 68, and he flipped it around this morning and shot a 64, in which he highlighted this bad boy with 6 straight birdies from 13 through 18. It was a nearly flawless day until he made bogey on his final hole of the day, the 9th. But Hideki does this thing, Greg. Number one, he plays well at TPC Scottsdale. He's one of the best course horses out here. And number two is when he is locked in, he looks like he's the best player to ever play the game. He flags everything. He picked up 2 strokes on approach. When he starts making putts after flagging it, he picked up 2 shots with the putter. It looks unfair. And that was the stretch that we saw for basically 17 holes today.
You know, when I think of this golf course, Rick, I think of a lot of kind of like Scottie Scheffler distance shots, right? That 150 to 200 range, middle to, mid irons, I would say. But Hideki did this today with wedges. Every time he had a wedge in his hand, he was hitting it inside of 5 feet, it seemed. And he had a lot more of them than I would expect. Some of them were perhaps a layup on a par 5 here or there. That happened on a couple of occasions. And then you just get on this run on the back 9 where he hits a great shot into 14, which is like that hole in between the par 5s that sticks out. It's a tough par 4 in the middle there. He hits a middle iron right at the flag, takes advantage of every wedge shot that he has, makes a long putt at 16. Everything is clicking. And he comes to the back 9, his back 9, the front 9, makes birdie at 4 and 5. And I'm thinking, this is going to be the most symmetrical scorecard. Par, birdie, 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 birdie on both sides.
Sure.
I was hoping for that. It didn't quite work out that way. But, I think what you point out about Hideki, he really looks like a world number 1 when he plays. It's more emphatic than the way Scottie plays.
Yes. Yeah, it's just he hits everything to 5. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. It was vintage Hideki today.
Yeah, it reminds me of Sunday 62 at Riviera. It was like that.
Yeah, it had some of that in it. Again, Riviera, you think ball strikers golf course, but there were so many short game shots that led to birdies for Hideki in that, whether it was wedges or up and downs, chipping in. These are the kind of things he did today. A lot of these pars that he made were phenomenal up and downs. And I think there are a lot of, shots where he's really stuffing it in there close, and that draws a lot of attention. But he's 12 of 13 scrambling. A lot of players have gone on back 9 runs this week, but there's been too many squares on the card. Just the one kind of sloppy bogey at 9 for Hideki. I give a lot of credit to his short game.
Well, the one sloppy bogey on the card for Siwoo Kim was immediately out of the gate. His first hole of the day. That moved him to 3 over par for the tournament, Greg, and the tweets started coming in. This guy's a loser. Why did I pick him? Of course, in the week that I play Siwoo Kim, because he was the most popular one and done selection. He was the second most popular player on DraftKings this week, over 21% owned. And then Siwoo said, I'll be your hero. He birdied 12. He eagled 13. He rattled off birdies from 15, 16, and 17. He added 4 more on the front side. He carded the round of the day, a 9 under 62, the 4th best round of his career, which I have 1,100 rounds of Siwoo Kim in my database. This is number 4, and he is now in a tie for 5th, 7 under, and those tweets have been silenced.
Now, you don't see this very often. I like to look at proximity to the hole, and just to see like how often are guys really hitting it close. And you get par 5s and long shots in there and missed greens. And so you get some really big number. Like you'll get, he'll hit it to 15 feet 3 times and then 110 feet on a hole. It's like pretty easy to do that. He had one shot at number 15 that he hit to 54 feet. He made birdie because it was a par 5. The next farthest away he was all day was 31 feet. And just looking at these, it's 35 feet, 15 feet, 3 feet, 27 feet, 20 feet, 54 feet, like I mentioned. 16, 27, 18, 8, 16, 18, 17, 21, 2, 16, 31, 8. It's a remarkable proximity to the whole performance.
When I was looking at it earlier, so obviously 18 holes. 18 holes, you can gain some number or lose some number in strokes gained approach. He had beaten the field on 16 holes. He was dead even on 1. And he had lost he had one loss of 0.03 and one loss of 0.6, and he beat the field on every other approach shot. So I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do that, right? Like when you have a great approach week or approach day, yeah, you might stuff a couple to 2 or 3 feet, and then you hit a couple that are to 30 feet and they're a little below average. Like he was almost on every single hole, he beat the field by a pretty significant margin.
It's one of the most perfect rounds I've ever seen tee to green.
Yeah.
And he hit 17 greens, hit 13 fairways. It was near flawless. This is the other amazing thing. He's 35th for the week in strokes gained approach. Obviously, today he was first. He gained nearly 5 shots to the field.
Something outrageous.
He lost 3.5 shots yesterday approaching the green. It was 123rd. Do you know how many people are in the field this
123.
week? 123. He went from worst to first in strokes gained approach.
See that, kids? You just come back the next day and keep firing at flags, just like Siwoo Kim does. Well, he is now, flipping over lots of one and dones. There's a lot of rooting interest in Siwoo Kim for the rest of the week. There will not be a lot of rooting interest in Brooks Koepka for the rest of the week because he will not be here for the rest of the week. It was actually a pretty solid 69, 2 under par that he shot today, but it was yesterday's round that had everybody up in arms because we saw Torrey Pines, Brooks Koepka really struggled with the flat stick. He was almost as bad as you could possibly imagine in the opening round. His total feet of putts was 29 feet, which is almost impossible to do. The longest putt that he made on Thursday was, I think, 4 feet, 2 inches. It was with a new spider in the bag, Greg. So obviously he was trying to change something. It was just a complete and utter disaster. Cleaned it up, was a lot better here on Friday, but not good enough to get into the weekend. What are your thoughts on what you saw from Brooks, and how does it kind of go together with now the 6 rounds that we've seen from him?
Well, I think the move to the mallet putter for him is a fine thing to do. Probably a good thing to do, probably the right thing to do, but it's going to take a little time. So the thing about making putts is if your stroke gets better, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make more putts. It changes the reads, it can change the speeds, it can change everything, and it can take a little while for that kind of thing to get calibrated. And you're not going to make very many long putts. You don't have a lot of confidence. You don't see the line the proper way. So there's a lot of work to do in a change like that. Sometimes when a player is going from let's say a traditional length putter to a broomstick, it's so different. It's like a completely new task. It's like going the left-handed. You see it differently. It's fresh. When you go from a blade to a mallet, it can help, but it's still pretty close to what you were doing before. So it takes a little while to calibrate it. I think there's a lot of fine things going on for Brooks Koepka. I like the way he played today. This is the kind of round you'd like to see. You put 2 of these together, and all of a sudden you're in fine shape. He really just took advantage of par 5s and number 17. Got a bonus at number 6, but no other birdies. It's really hard to find birdies when you can't make putts. And I think the one at 6 was the 30-footer that he made down the hill. But that's the kind of thing you have to do when the greens are this firm. You got to hit a phenomenal approach shot or make a long putt. And his putting's clearly not in shape to do that right now.
Not quite there just yet. Let me get you a couple of other big movers because we did see a lot of, like we said, those round 1 to round 2 differences. Sahit Theegala goes 70-65, and that 65 really supported by a pair of eagles. He made an eagle on 3. He made an eagle on 13. We have seen him contend here in Phoenix, now fully healthy for the first time. His year has gotten off to a solid start. And Greg, he's got a little bit of extra motivation because with how miserable his 2025 was, he's not in the big events, but he is currently, he would be 9th, I believe, right now in the Aon Swing 5, which would get you into Pebble, and it would get you into Riv, which are the next 2 weeks. So he's got a little bit more work to do, but he can also help himself in that department as well.
You know, a couple of things are going right for Sahith so far. One, he's healthy. So I think his game is in better shape than we've seen, and certainly better shape than we saw last year. So you can kind of wipe last year clean. What's really cool, and I think what is helping him this week, is a couple of chip-ins. He had a chip-in last week at Torrey Pines as well, and you saw 2 of them today. 1 for eagle. That kind of thing goes a long way, especially for someone that seems to feed off the energy of the crowd. So this looks like he's having a lot of fun. It doesn't look like he's thinking about the Aon Swing 5. It doesn't look like he's thinking about signature events. It looks like he's just enjoying what's in front of him, which is kind of why we saw the coming out party of Sahith Theegala here at the WM Phoenix Open a couple years ago. It looks like that kid again.
Akshay Bhatia made a bogey on his first hole of the week. The 10th hole on Thursday, he made a bogey. He has not made one since. He has put together rounds of 68, 67. If you look at it from a statistical standpoint, Greg, he has been phenomenal off the tee and with his approaches, and he's gaining strokes with the putter as well. I think I was pretty bullish on both Sahith and Akshay for the entirety of 2026. They both do things that I think are really exciting. For Akshay, he's a pretty good flusher. He's got Joe Griner on the bag now. He's got another year under the belt with the broomstick. I just think he's the kind of guy who's willing to make changes and constantly improve his game. And it's paying dividends right now because he's going to enter the weekend inside the top 5 at Phoenix.
Yeah, and you see the limited number of bogeys. He's been able to keep himself away from short-sighted mistakes. But really, when you look at it, he's still getting after the flag sticks. Like, a lot of his approach shots are on line with the flag. He hasn't quite dialed in the distance. I attribute much of that to the firm greens and the difficulty that we're facing. But he's challenging the edges of the greens. You know, he's hitting shots at the flag, and it just hasn't really gone his way yet. What I also find interesting is the one area where he's losing strokes is around the green, where he's, losing a shot to the field through 2 rounds, but he's 9 for 9 in scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign. This is a complete game right now, and I really like where Akshay sits.
A pair of golfers tied for 3rd at the moment. The man who was the first round leader, Chris Gotterup, goes 63-71. He's playing alongside Scottie Scheffler. He beat Scottie Scheffler by 10 shots in the opening round. Scottie got him back by 6 on this day. But Gotterup has really, I don't need to tell anybody this, has blossomed into this really talented player who's won a couple times on the PGA Tour, and now he's full of confidence, and you see it out there. He's not afraid of, Scottie or anybody else. It wasn't as good of a Friday afternoon. I mean, conditions were more difficult, but what have you seen from Gotterup this week, and how do you relate that to his staying power at the top of the leaderboard?
He might be the guy.
Ooh.
It's like really good. I mean, he lost a lot of shots approaching the green, but I feel like he hit better shots than he was reward. Like 16, I thought he hit a really good shot. It ends up kind of barreling through the green. I thought he hit a really good shot in there. He ends up making bogey. He had a 3-putt today, missed a couple of short ones. He lost 3 shots to the field putting today, but I don't really think he hit bad putts. This was a frustrating day. What's so impressive to me, and I think what's really important about his staying power, is the short game. You know about the distance. He can change this golf course. I believe he can do that over the weekend. But in the situations where he misses a green, whether it's on a par 4, 17, a par 5 or 17, he'll turn those into birdies. And I think he's going to be able to hit a lot of greens over the weekend, the way that he's driving it. So the driver and the short game combo, I really like where Gotterup sits right now.
Already a winner this year, and we've only played 3 events. So good news if you are Chris Gotterup. Another good set of news for Pearson Coody, who continues his great start here in 2026. We talk about him a lot on the Tuesday show. We talk about him a lot in kind of, DraftKings or fantasy purposes, but he opened up 66-68. He's 8 under par. He has 3 shots off the lead. I love this kid. He's such a great driver of the ball. He's not a one-trick pony. He seems to be mature beyond his years. I don't know, just continues to find a way to get on the first page or 2 of the leaderboard. And now, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like he is firmly in contention on the weekend now, right? He's 3 shots off the lead. He's going to play in one of the final groups. I felt like the first couple starts of the year, I guess he was in it at Torrey. He finished second there. He was kind of pushing late, but this is going to be potentially an entire weekend of him in the heat of the battle. I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles it.
Yeah, because you don't have a runaway. He was up there at Torrey, and I think he shot 65 on Sunday at Torrey, but was still playing great golf. Now the spotlight gets shined on you a little bit because you don't have a runaway situation. Everybody in these last couple groups has a chance, and people have started to see his record. We've talked about him a lot. Not that everybody's seeing it from there, but people are starting to get aware of what this kid is all about. And what's amazing to me, it just looks easy for him. It doesn't look like shooting 8 under for 2 rounds on a tough golf course is a problem. It's like that's kind of expected. And he probably feels like it could have been better. You look at the stats, he lost 0.2, he lost strokes approaching the green, didn't get up and down a single time, but he only missed 3 greens. Hit 15 of 18 greens. So I think Pearson Coody's a flusher, and I think he's going to be around all weekend again.
There was a lot happening on the golf course today. One, the golf course itself takes a lot of oxygen. The final closing stretch, you've got 16 there. That captures a lot of attention. We had Hideki Matsuyama going nuts this morning. We had Scottie Scheffler making his run in the afternoon. We're figuring out what Brooks Koepka is going to do, and Jordan Spieth and all this stuff. And Siwoo Kim shoots the round of the day. But amongst all of that, Greg, just the most quiet 63 I've ever seen, because one, it's getting posted while all this stuff is happening. And the way that he does it, a birdie on 13, a birdie on 14, an eagle on 15, a birdie on 16, a birdie on 17. If you turned this off for 55 minutes, you missed Ryo Hisatsune play a 5-hole stretch in 6 under par. And he is now your 36-hole leader in Phoenix, 1 shot clear of Hideki Matsuyama.
My goodness, it happened so quick. Right? I mean, all of a sudden, the guys have 5 under, 5 back of Hideki, and he passes them, making par on 18. And we saw him last week. I don't want to say in the mix, but he was in the final group with Rosie.
Yeah, he ended up finishing T2. A similar thing, right? It's like you were in it, but you were always 6 or 7 shots back.
Right. But he was in the final group and played well. It was a little all over the place, but he scored. He kept, he did what he had to do to earn that tied second finish, and now he's the 36-hole leader. My goodness, have things changed? Again, it's another scorecard near the top without a lot of squares on it. There are birdies to be had out here, and I love the way he just kind of stayed patient. You make a birdie at 3, the only par 5 on the front 9. You steal one at 9, and then that stretch, he takes advantage of every single hole, 13 through 17. That's where you have to get this golf course. It's exactly what he did. And that's why it feels quiet. Because a birdie on 13, it doesn't make any noise. Right? Then a birdie on 14, that's a great birdie. And I believe he made... Cool. Nice. What did he do on 14? He made I think he made a long one. Yeah, he made a 23-footer.
A 23-foot putt, yes.
So, hit the fairway, hit it in the middle of the green, it goes in. It's like, okay, yep, now you're 7 under, and then eagle, birdie, boom, boom, leader. It happened so quick.
On 15, he was 266 yards out and hit it to 8 feet and made the putt for eagle. And then he snapped off 2 more birdies after that. I mean, he must have been feeling it out there.
And it not only was it on 15 to 8 feet, it was left of the flag. And it's a left flag. Just no room over there. And so much room right. Just going after it.
Oh, and then his birdie on 17, he hit it in the water. But he hit it in the water.
Oh my gosh, that's
like
right.
Through the green. And you drop it up there, and then he just knocked it in.
That's another reason why it's so quiet. It's like, there he goes. Yeah. He rinsed it on 7. Wait, he made birdie there?
He was 6 under through 5, or through that stretch of 5 holes with a penalty stroke.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's nuts. Now look, I'll say this. It's funny, you laugh at it kind of, and you're like, well, but this guy's been getting closer and closer and closer. I don't think it's time to fall asleep on Hisatsune.
I thought I heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I thought I heard somebody say he got a putting lesson and they realized he was aiming 3 degrees right of where he thought he was aiming or something like that, which I feel like Dustin Johnson had that happen like a decade ago. They fixed his aim, and that's when he got to number 1 in the world. Not that that's the path or trajectory that Hisatsune is on, but it would kind of make sense because he has been, if you look back at his metrics, he's been very good from tee to green. He's like that pop putter, like when he picks up 3 strokes with the putter, he's inside the top 10. And now he's starting to get a little bit more consistent with that. And I do wonder if that's one of the catalysts here.
He was 100. I hadn't heard the story.
I just heard it in passing.
Yeah. He was 141st in putting last year. This year, although it's very early on and you have a second place finish, he's up to 82nd. So it's been quite a move. And that doesn't include anything from this week.
Right.
But you would be surprised, Rick, how many players don't understand how to aim their putter. And so much of it has to do with the actual putter that you use. Believe it or not, it's not the water that you have in your mouth, which is
that doesn't fix all the problems.
It doesn't fix your aim. Yeah, you can get into a putter that you can't aim, and you won't. Like if you watch Brooks Koepka right now, he will not. The line on his ball and the line on the putter don't match. That it's a problem. It means that you're not aiming where you think you are. And you watch Cameron Young, who's been putting great, and it's dead on.
They had a worm cam today with him, and I have never seen I find it hard to even lay the ball perfectly. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like tilted a little bit or whatever. Yes. And then so he had that perfect, and he had his putter perfect, and just the worm cam from behind. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because all of it was in line, and the stroke was perfect.
I think it was like a 6-footer.
It was fantastic,
and it almost looked like the ball never even moved.
No, because it just like dropped into a hole.
Yeah, it was great, and that's why he's that's why he's been putting so well, because everything's in order. Where he thinks he's aimed. You don't have to make any corrections. There's no subconscious mistakes being made. So it wouldn't surprise me that someone like Hisatsune fixes their aim and it changes everything.
He's going to be in the final group tomorrow. Obviously, he's the leader. Mina, let's see the leaderboard here because it's outstanding. A pair of countrymen at the top in Ryo Hisatsune and Hideki Matsuyama, 11 under and 10 under, respectively. Then a 2-shot gap to Chris Gotterup and Pearson Coody. Logjam of players at 7 under par, including Matt Fitzpatrick, who we didn't really mention, Sahit Theegala, amongst others. And then you start to see them lining up behind. Greg, before we even look at the odds, I've got to ask you the most important question that I could ever ask you on a Friday night, and that is, of course, how far back is too far back? How far back is too far back?
Well, 2 under.
I'm shocked you didn't say 3 under. I thought you were just going to say whatever is behind Scottie.
I wanted to, but my boy Cam Young is at 3 under. I can't count him out yet.
I don't know what it feels like he's made 100 birdies this week and 98 bogeys. And
he's just making
it's been
silly mistakes. Silly mistakes that he is, and he's getting upset. I saw him throw 3 clubs today.
Did you?
I didn't see that. He kicked one. Well, yeah, I guess he threw 2 and kicked one. All approach shots. He knows it. It'll get better. But I don't know if he can catch Scottie.
No, of course he can't. He's 3 under par. He is 8 shots off the lead, but he also has Scottie Scheffler between he and the top. So Scottie is 4 under. Scottie is 7 back. Scottie is 4 off of third, and he is now just 10-1. I think the deepest I saw him get at any point was like 20-1, which was shocking in itself. That was obviously at the end of the round yesterday. To put this into perspective, Scottie Scheffler is 10-1. Chris Gotterup is 11-1, and Chris Gotterup has a 4-shot lead on Scottie. So odds makers are saying Scottie is more than 2 shots better per round than Gotterup is here over the final 2.
Gotterup beat Scottie by 10.
Yeah,
the first day.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
Playing together.
That's a long time ago.
And I don't feel I don't think they're wrong. I mean, everybody would be all over it if it was any longer.
Yeah.
He's 7 shots back. It's nothing.
Well, the thing is, he wins tournaments by 8. So now if he just does that, he just wins by 1.
It happens like Sunday. He kind of can cruise in. That's the way it's been. Now he's played great on Sunday, but it's been like no real stress. This time you just play bad in round 1, and you only need 3 rounds. You know, that's what Scottie needs, 3 rounds. I don't think he's too far back at all. I would not be surprised if he was at 10 under heading into Sunday.
Yeah.
Or better.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like if he shot a 65 today. If he just goes 65, he gets to 612. He gets to 16 under. It's pretty good. 16 under might be pretty good.
I mean, it could get really tough with some firm greens. There'll be birdie opportunities. But like, let's say Hisatsune goes out and shoots 3 under. He's at 14 heading into the final day. Mm-hmm. Scottie's at 10. Who are you taking?
Scottie.
Now, the problem is you got Gotterup, who I think is tough, and you got Hideki.
Yeah. Who are those guys outside of Scottie Scheffler are some of the few multiple win players in the last 3 years.
And they're not afraid. I don't believe they're afraid of Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah.
I mean, you even have Matt Fitzpatrick, who we didn't talk about, who kind of, should be way better. His score should be way better than 7 under right now.
Dude, the shot he hit, he hit the shot through the green on 17, like long way.
And it landed like 30 yards short of the green.
So if I'm understanding, and I'm doing the Gregor's translation here, and I'm trying to figure out where your brain's at. So then I'm looking at a board then that has a multiple time winner, a guy that's won this year, a guy that we think this golf course is really good for, and he does not care about anybody who's in front of him or behind him, who is 3 shots off the lead and is 11-1, and it's Chris Gotterup, and that's the click.
I love where Gotterup is. I love where Scheffler is. What's Gotterup at? 10?
11.
11. Gotterup's longer than Scheffler.
Just bet them both. And just say, let's have a nice weekend.
What's Hideki at?
Hideki's plus 230, so he's the favorite. And then Hisatsune is 470. And then nobody else is shorter than Scottie. So that's Scottie at 10, Gotterup at 11.
It's not a bad number on Hisatsune. The problem is Scottie gets to 10 or 11 tomorrow, and he's at 13, 14, and it changes. And then how does he look at Hideki Matsuyama? You know, they're both Japanese players.
Probably looks at him like he's the GOAT, right? I mean, like this legend, this man who has just changed golf in my country.
I'm playing with Hideki Matsuyama tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Group.
There's a chance that dude just crumbles tomorrow.
It's a different kind of. We look at Hideki's name, you and I, with a ton of respect.
Yeah.
I don't know if the field on the PGA Tour idolizes him. I'd imagine he's a pretty easy guy to play with.
Probably doesn't say a word.
You can't say anything to him. Admire what he does. It's not scary. But it might be for Hisatsune.
Wouldn't it just be fun? Wouldn't it just be like if he just was like Ivan Drago, the Russian in Rocky, and be like the only thing he ever said was like once every 10 years, he'd be like, "You must die," like right on the first tee. Like I'd poop myself if that happened like that.
Right. Oh my gosh, it'd be. He could pull that off. He's got that kind of game.
He does. He's got that aura. Okay, so I think if you made me bet it, I think you have to bet. I think you have 11-1 for a guy who is literally 3 shots back, who just won 2 starts ago, who's like
striping, bombing it off the tee.
Just have to bet Gotterup for like 11-1 is very, very kind. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you click Scottie too.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I'm the loser and the sucker who has him at like plus 250. So, now it's 4 times as long, right? And maybe I got to dip back in on that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind going into the weekend with Gotterup at 11, Scottie at 10, and just seeing how this plays out. And
you'd have Scottie at 250 as well from before the week. So. But what are Scottie's odds going to be tomorrow if he's at 10 under and Matsuyama's at 15 under?
Scottie will be like 3.5-1, something like that, right?
So do it now.
Yeah,
because that's going to happen. Matsuyama, I don't know if Hideki's going to get to 15, but I'm pretty sure that Scottie's going to get to 10.
I can't remember, and I'm completely making this up because I'm sure I've seen him do it, and I think he got to like 30 under par at the Century one year or whatever. But like, I feel like Hideki does not back up that round, right? Like the round where you're like, oh, he's the greatest player in the world. He does not he shoots like 1 under tomorrow.
I mean, it definitely could be.
That's what my memory.
The one I think about at Riviera, that's the benefit. It's on Sunday.
Well, imagine he wasn't going to do that again on Monday.
No way. But we'll never know.
Okay, now we have to get this out in the open. Sunday, there's like some big thing going on. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't really care. But there's a thing happening on Sunday. 2 teams, they play each other, and like the entire country stops and watches. So in true second cut fashion, what we generally do is like an express version, right? We are going to try to go as quickly as we can, keep it to like 20 minutes as soon as the tournament is over, and be done with it. That is not out of disrespect for whoever is going to win this golf. If Scottie wins, we're going to give the show 20 minutes. If Hisatsune wins, we're going to give the show 20 minutes. That's just generally how we treat the Super Bowl episode.
We always have. Unfortunately, I won't be there.
Yeah,
I will be paying full respect to the winner on post game on Sirius XM, and nobody's going to wait an hour to watch the second cut in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we made an executive decision to not do it an hour afterwards, and then go for an hour. We just said
we might have better luck going at like 11 o'clock at night, which I'm not going to do. No, I'm not offering that.
Also, I have yet to confirm Mark, so it might just be me for 15 minutes reading off the leaderboard.
Reading the leaderboard.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Yep. Who do you like? I won't get to talk to you again. Who do you like in that other game?
I will admit, I don't know, but I'm gonna say I think it is probably the Patriots. I do not follow football very closely, but I feel like they are better. They have a better coach. I feel like they have a better quarterback, and I feel like when you get a one-game situation with kind of the extra with the bye week, that goes a long way. So I'm gonna say the Patriots. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I'm a Jets fan. And, Sam Darnold, we drafted. Obviously, great eye for talent. Can't develop him.
Yeah.
One of the moments, like Mark Sanchez had the butt fumble against the Patriots.
I remember that.
Sam Darnold's line was, "I'm seeing ghosts."
Oh, that was against the Patriots?
Yeah. So that's just in my head. It's also, this would be the most Patriot Super Bowl they could ever win this year. Like, I don't have any doubt. I think Seattle's the better team.
Are the Seattle's the favorites, aren't they? 3.5, 3 points, something like that.
I haven't seen. They should be. They're a way better team, but they're going to lose.
2 weeks ago. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I actually saw someone told me the other day, there is a bet out there, and I don't know where you can get this. What the hell is the line of this game? Seahawks minus 3.5. You can make a bet that the final score is going to be the exact final score of any other Super Bowl. So you've got the 59 other Super Bowls, and whatever those final scores were, that this one is going to match one of those.
Oh, one of any
of them.
You don't even have to pick it.
No. You don't have to pick it at all. And I was like, imagine the sweat, because if it were me, I would print out a list of what all the final scores were. And then you'd be like, oh, wait, kick a field goal here. Oh, no, actually, I need this. You're trying to get like this exact situation, but you've got like 59 other chances at it.
But the fact that it's a bet means I wonder how many unique Super Bowl winning scores there are.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's not 59 unique ones. I'm sure maybe it's like 30 unique scores or something like that.
I wouldn't think it'd be that many. I mean, think about the Bach. You want the 4s, you want the 7s, you want the 3s.
The only one that I can think of is when the Broncos, they snapped it over Peyton Manning's head on like the first play, and like it got off script immediately. It was like they were like at 5.
There's a safety.
Like immediately. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is screwed up.
Yeah. That's why you never know. That's why any square is a good square.
Any square is a good square. Here's the final thing. Because I thought this was so funny. Greg, name one Bad Bunny song.
No.
No, because you can't? Or because
I don't know any. I don't know any.
I couldn't either.
Not a single one.
Them, but I could not tell you the name of one single Bad Bunny song.
Nope.
Damn.
I know nothing about him.
Stumped us on that one.
It's one Bad Bunny.
He is one bad bunny. It's not a good bunny. He's a bad bunny. All right. We will be back on Sunday for a brief second cut to pay homage to the winner of the Phoenix Open. And that is about it. But for now, big thanks to producer Mina. She does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme. I'm Rick Gehman. This is the second cut. We'll see you Sunday.